Loving Father, we are here to say thank you for this day. We are here to say thank you for the gift of life. We want also to thank you for the knowledge you have given the facilitators for in today's workshop. We call upon your blessing. We call upon your Holy Spirit to come and guide, to come and teach, to come and give knowledge in whatever we are going to be sharing. Let it be of great value to us. Let it be of great importance in helping the teachers in enhancing the competence-based curriculum as per general paper it is concerned. We pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for the word of prayer, Mr. Otcha Andrew. And we want to welcome all of you for this session. Thank you so much for joining this session. At a later time, we shall be joined. I want to just find out whether this is Mr. Ronald.
Yes, Mr. Kaziba.
Okay, yes, Mr. Ronald. Kindly say something as we start our session.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kaziba. I know I'm still on the road. I would have loved to be settled so that I can join in well. But I want to thank you and your team for organizing us and welcome everybody who is online. Thank you for joining in. We know it is a public holiday, you are resting, but learning does not wait. We have to learn quickly so that we can embrace the new changes that are ongoing. I want to wish everybody a good session and pray that we continue learning together. Thank you, Mr. Kaziba. I'll try to follow until when I'm settled. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ronald, for those remarks. Today, our discussion is going to be on the individual project, and I'm going to be taking you through this session. Our session outcomes, I do expect that by the end of this session, each one of us is in position to know what an individual project is, what is the purpose, what an extended essay is, and what is the difference between individual project and then the extended essay. Then we shall go on to identify a good topic. We shall be able to formulate a topic, but also look at the variables and what makes a topic a varied topic. That is what we are going to go through in this session. I want to let you know that this is going to be an ongoing process. Today we are going to touch one part and then we shall be building on from one part going on to the other. So it's going to be a series of sessions to help us understand what we are supposed to do with our children. According to the Uganda National Qualification Framework, someone who is at A level is placed at level 3. And according to the framework, there are certain things that are expected to be exhibited by someone who has reached A level. And one of the things that are expected is that that particular child at that level must be in a position of a managerial position, that he must be able to find out solutions to given problems that we have within a society, and that the knowledge he or she has been able to acquire should be able to place that particular child in a position of solving a problem within a society. And it is against that background that we have now this project work to enable the children connect with the society, to be able to solve societal problems when they are still even at school. But also it's going to be providing an initial step for this child when he or she is stepping into university. Now, what is an individual project? Now, an individual project is an independent investigation into real life or community problem. When we talk about independent, it means that it's going to be an individual, one child per project. And when we talk about investigation, we are looking at a thorough search for facts, for things that are hidden, things that need to be sorted. It means finding out, it means collecting, it means analyzing and connecting information for a particular subject. That's what we call investigation. So a child must be able to find out, must be able to collect data, to be able to analyze and give a solution to that particular problem that is facing our society. So any project that the child is going to be coming up with must be able to solve a problem within a society. So always when we are having an individual project is going to be guided by research questions. We are going to look at how do we formulate a research question? How do we come up with a problem statement? How do we identify a problem that is challenging our society? So this means that in anything that the child is going to be doing, we must look at a feasible solution. Has the child been able to solve a problem within society? Is the problem the child has been able to identify, will it improve the community well-being? Now, that's what we call an individual project. At the end of it all, this problem that the child has been able to find out must have a solution through the analyzing of the data, through collecting that data, analyzing it, and then the child comes up with a solution that can support the community well-being. And what competency is the child going to develop? Once the child goes on to do this individual project, is going to be able to develop and is going to be in position to come up with innovative ways of solving these societal problems. Is going to be able to investigate. We have said that investigation means that is going to be able to thoroughly search to find out the facts and then be able to propose a feasible and practical solution that can make our communities much better by utilizing the knowledge that this child has been able to acquire from the environment. Now, we have what we call an extended essay. Now, an extended essay means something that the child does independently, is an independent research project. However, it focuses on a particular topic of interest. The syllabus book provides core topics where a child is going to pick, and that topic that the child picks is the one that guides what kind of essay the child is going to come up with. Now, the essay is always guided by a research question, and it's conducted in a given subject area. Now, we are going to look at how do we formulate research questions that are going to guide the essay that the child comes up with. Now, one of the purpose for doing or taking an extended essay, one of it is that we want to develop independent thinkers who can be able to investigate the problems within the society. But also, we want these children to prepare for academic research and be problem solvers, but as well be able to connect learning to community. Many times you find out that the children, what they learn in class, they are not in position to apply that knowledge in society. So now we want that whatever the children are able to learn in society, can we have a connection to the communities where they are coming from? Because when you look at the world now, we are looking at people who are able to provide solutions to the problems that are existing. And these are the aims of the extended essay. Like, we want to find people who are able to inquire, people who are able to make research, people who are able to critically think and creatively think about a given problem and find solution. But also we are going to look at people who are able to reflect, innovate, and also promote the personal growth. Now, these are the aims for that extended essay. Now, how is the structure of a project? How does it look like? Now, the structure of our individual project will have the following. We shall have what we call the topic, the problem area. We shall go on and have a problem statement. Under the problem statement, we shall be able to find out what is it that is happening in our society. What effect and significance does it have? Then we are going to go on and now formulate the objectives. Then from objectives, we shall go on and formulate research questions. Then we shall look at the methodology. How are we going to conduct this research? How are we going to be able to collect data? And then after getting our findings, we shall go on and analyze, and then the children will be able to provide solutions from what they have found out on ground. What solutions can they propose? And then we shall come up with a conclusion, and then they will reflect. And however, these children must be able to reference, they must be able to acknowledge the people's work that they have been looking at, the different sources where they have obtained the information from. In other words, we expect that children are going to make some literature review. They are going to read some sources such that they can find out what are other people saying about this particular problem that I'm working on, such that they can come from an informed point of view, such that they can be able to argue well basing on what other people have said and what they have found on ground. Now, this is going to be our structure. Now, the extended essay that the children are going to be coming up with has a word limit of 4,000. So it ranges, the minimum is 3,000 and the maximum is going to be 4,000. Now, the essay contains mainly three things. It contains the introduction, the body, and then the conclusion. What are we going to have within the body? Under the body, that's where you have things like the methods, that's where you're going to have the findings, that's where you're going to have the solutions, that's where you're going to have the research questions, the objectives, and then a bit of literature review. All that is going to be under your body. Then, when it comes to what is not part of the extended essay, now when we are getting what we call the title page, we are going to have a content page, references, bibliography, pictures, and the rest of that. Now, all those ones are not counted as part of the words that make up the 4,000. So when we are counting the words, we only count the three things that are composed of introduction, body, and then the conclusion. Title page, content, table of contents, list of figures, and the rest. Appendices, all those ones are not counted as part of the 4,000. So 4,000, we only look at the content. And I'm going to ask that always we must stick to the 4,000 as the maximum or the minimum of 3,000. So our word range that children that are going to come up with must be within that particular range. So I will be showing you the structure of an extended essay at a later time and how it will look like. Now, what is very important is choosing a topic for an individual project. For whatever topic that the children are going to be choosing, it must be relevant to real life, or it must be something within a community. It must be something that is current, something that is merging in society, that will look at and notice that this might be a problem. This is a real problem. This is a real problem. Number two, it must also be clear and focused, not too broad. There are some topics that children are going to come up with that are very broad that you may not be able to search and find out data or get data within a short period of time. It should be researchable. We do not look at topics that are open. They should be topics that where information can easily be obtained, where you can get the data for that particular topic, but it should be in line with the learner's interest. That once the learner takes on, he or she must be interested in it. Okay, may I know through the chat whether my volume is too low or people are able to hear me very well? Because it seems some people are saying my volume is very low. I don't know whether it is true. So can someone let me know whether my volume is too low or I'm okay? Okay, people are saying the volume is very clear. Okay, allow me to continue. Okay, maybe someone may check out. There is maybe a problem on his side. Okay, then it must be linked to improving the community well-being. Whatever thing we are doing, we need to improve the communities where we are coming from. So when the learner comes at school, the community expects that when this child goes back, there is an impact. There is something he or she is going to add on to the community where he's coming from. That's why now we are bringing in these projects such that we can support the community where these children are coming from. So now that is what this topic must be able to entail. So you are going to ask yourself, is this topic aiming at improving the community well-being? Is the learner interested in doing this topic? Can the learner be able to obtain data or information for this particular topic? Is this topic researchable? Because there are some topics that children are going to come up with where you cannot obtain data, whereby excuse whereby getting information is not as easy as you may think. But also, we want these children to interact with the community. So we want to bridge that gap that has been existing. So we want to make it smaller such that these children are in position to connect with their communities. Okay, now what are some of the guidelines? One, the children must be able to identify a current problem in their communities. It can be within schools. I've said within schools, not just the school. It should be able to allow investigation. Investigation, we have said, they must be able to thoroughly search and then get a practical solution. And we are going to avoid topics that are too general, topics that are outdated, topics that are difficult to research. Not all topics that these children are going to come up with are going to be very okay. There are topics that are going to come up, that they are going to come up with, whereby these topics are very general, whereby getting the data is not easy, whereby also getting information from people that have it is also not very possible. Now, the curriculum provides what we call thematic areas. The curriculum provides what we call the core topics. Which core topics are the ones where children are meant to pick which topic are they going to do. Now, the thematic areas provides the guidance on which issues the children are going to be picking from, such that they can be within a given area. They specify. Now, when you look at the syllabus book, you'll find that those topics have been identified, and we expect that children are going to pick are going to be picking the topics from within those areas. But those are not the specific topics. Those are just areas where children are supposed to pick. But the particular topic that a child comes up with must be in line with any of those areas that the curriculum provides. So the problem must come from within those areas. And what are some of those areas? The curriculum provides areas, the thematic areas, from within environment, health, education, governance, society, science, technology, and the economy. And when you check the syllabus book, it breaks them in this format. It has what called as social issues. That means that if the problem the child has been able to identify is within the social issues, the child is going to break. The child is going to digest things concerning social issues and then identify a problem from within that particular area. If the problem the child is identifying is within the culture, then the problem must be within the area of culture. Let me now talk about social issues. Now, when you look at social issues, you can note that currently we have issues concerning mental health. We have issues concerning substance use among the children. Now, that one can be a challenge. Now, such a challenge will come under social issues. When it comes to culture, you note that currently many children are unable to use their local languages, their indigenous languages. That means that that problem is going to be within culture. So that means that the broad area is culture. But the problem the child is identifying is about indigenous languages. In case it is about education, then the child is going to look at education and he or she identifies a challenge within the education. It can be areas within assessment. It can be areas within the curriculum itself. And then the child proposes a solution that can support the system. It can be about human rights, it can be about challenges involving, and so on and so forth. In case it is about economics, you can note that we have very many individuals currently that are having issues concerning unemployment. We have very many Ugandans that are leaving the country going abroad. Now, those are problems, those are challenges the society is facing, because now that means that the child will investigate and make his findings from within that. Now, those are the different things we are going to be dealing with. So the curriculum provides around 11 thematic areas that we are going to keep on searching. However, what is the process of us investigating? Number one, we must be able to identify a research topic, identify a research problem, have a problem statement, come up with the objectives. Now, we are going to start the process. When you look at my screen, I have displayed a picture that I picked from Nile Post of June 2025, and it talks about Butabika Hospital. And when you look at the article, when you read through, this is the article that was accompanying the picture. And when you look at this information, now I'm showing you how can these children be able to identify community challenges. One of the areas where they can is through articles, through journals, through messages received on WhatsApp. And when you look at it, it says that the executive director of Utabika confirmed that the factors contributing to mental health cases include 100% anxiety, 15% alcohol and substance abuse, poverty, and unemployment. What does it mean? It means that there is a problem within the community where we need to find a solution to. And when now you look at this problem that has been identified among the youth, among the community members, it means that we are asking ourselves, can the child come up with a solution to this problem? And if yes, under which thematic area, under which core topic are we going to place this problem? So when you look at it, let me check whether people are following. Which thematic area are we going to identify? Let me identify a problem of alcohol and substance abuse. Under which thematic area are we putting this? Kindly type in the chat quickly. Under which thematic areas? I've showed you the different thematic areas. Someone is saying health. Another one is saying social, health, social. Very good. Now we go back. I'm going to take you back a step. Now, when you look here, you note that under social issues, that's where we have health. So you'll find that things concerning abuse, drugs and addictions fall under social issues. That means that now, once the child identifies the challenge in the community, then they should be able to link it up to what the thematic or the core topic is within the syllabus. Now, the problem we have been able to identify, the challenge the society is facing is about drug and substance abuse. That means that now it is under social issues. I'm going to display another problem, and I want people now to tell me, when you look at this, the picture I've displayed, which challenge is being displayed? Which challenge are you able to to see. You can raise up the hand and you share with us. Which challenge is our community facing? Yes, feel free to raise your hand. I want us to first identify the challenge at hand. Yes, Teacher Matege.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
When my name is Cornelia. So when
Unfortunately,
I look at the picture here,
oh,
I
unfortunately,
can
okay. Unfortunately, Teacher Matege, your network is not so good. You are breaking, but I'll maybe kindly you can type in the chat. Yes, Teacher Kevin.
From what I'm seeing, there is a problem of lack of ICT integration and then also overcrowding in classrooms.
Very good. Overcrowding, ICT integration. Okay, thank you. Omokol, teacher.
Also, I may not differ from my colleagues.
Mm.
Also, what I'm trying to perceive here is that we have very large student to teacher ratio and then lack of ICT integration in the teaching. Thank you.
Thank you. Then lastly, Teacher Zash. Okay. Thank you, everyone. And when I look at the chart, I can note that there is a lot of congestion, overpopulation, overcrowded classrooms. Yes, learner-teacher ratio, congestion, big numbers in class, problem. Yes. Now that is a problem we have in our society. And when you check very well, you will notice that depending on the area where you are, depending on the district where you are, you'll find such problems. You find one class having more than 200 children or 100 in a class under one single teacher. That means that at the end of the day, there are some learning outcomes, there are some skills, there are some children that are not being reached on by the teacher. There are some children who will not pick anything from the class. Now, that is what we call identifying the challenge within the society. Now, when you look here, if I may ask, under which core area can we place this challenge of ours? Under which core area are you placing this? Core areas, Marian as education. Thank you everyone. Education, thank you. Yes, you are correct. So this is under education. So once you identify the challenging problem, it means that we are going to come up with a solution. Now, these are things that your children are going to go on and investigate on. Okay, I have another picture. You can raise up the hand and you share with us. I have another picture there. Is it a problem? Is it a challenge in society or not? Look at it and then you can raise up your hand and tell us, no, it's not. Yes, teacher poet. Unmute. Oh, teacher Bruno. Okay, teacher poet.
Okay, in my opinion, we are having a challenge of social media use.
Okay. Thank you so much. Teacher Bruno Mbale.
All right. I have a feeling maybe the problem could be social media addiction.
Addiction.
Then another one could be permissiveness. Maybe one of the two. I don't know.
Okay, perfect. Yes. Now, what he has mentioned, all what they have mentioned are problems we have. You'll find that at night, as the parents are going to sleep, the children are left with their gadgets. So this has resulted into quite a number of issues that are affecting our people within society. Many people are addicted, even adults. You find an adult who is very addicted to some of these issues. So what does it mean? It means that this is a pressing problem in society. You find someone that is unable to complete work because he or she is addicted to this kind of thing. So this is still a problem about addiction, about social media use, and other issues. Now, this is what we need now to work on. This is where we need to find a solution to some of these pressing issues. Some of you, even you will notice that with time, these children are going to have issues concerning their eyes. With the time, these children are going to start facing those mental health issues, and so on and so forth. Now, these are some of the problems that we have, meaning that if a child is going to go and work on such an issue, the child is going to dig deep, is going to ask himself, which social media applications are always children using? At what time are they always on social media? What is the frequency? How often are they on these applications? And there is so forth and the rest of that. And these issues here even have an impact on the academic performance, have an impact on the social well-being of the children, have an impact on their health and the rest of that. So we need now to start finding what solution can we have for such an issue. Now, when we are identifying the topic, the children must have a challenge. They must have a problem from within the community that they have been able to identify. And then we are going to seek for the solution. I have another one here. Can we type in the chat? Teacher Juliet, can you hear?
Yes, what I'm seeing in the picture is environmental degradation.
Okay, thank you so much. Teacher Faizo? Teacher Faizo? Okay. Poor waste management. Thank you, Teacher Faizo. Crested High School, Masaka. Poor waste management. Thank you, Teacher Faizo. Crested High School. Yes, Crested High.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, for me, I am seeing land pollution due to poor disposal of non-degradable materials.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those identifications for the different problems. And that is very true. Now, this is a problem. When you pass via very many towns, you'll find these heaps of garbage everywhere. When you go to some schools, you'll find them. But this is a problem which has an impact on different issues. It can have on health, it can have on different issues. Now, this is a challenge we have within the society. Now the question is going to be, how can we support the communities? How can we go about this kind of problem? Yes. Now, you are going to note that all the problems we have been able to identify lie under what we call the Sustainable Development Goals. All the challenges that children are going to come up with are going to be under these Sustainable Development Goals. So it is just a matter of you knowing, is it under SDG 4? Is it under SDG 3? If I may ask in the chat, under SDG 4, we talk about quality education. And when you look at one of the things we looked at, we are about large classes. It means that under large classes, the SDG being captured is SDG 4. Now, members in the chat, you tell me, which SDG have we captured? You type in the chat quickly. Which SDG have we captured for the previous picture about waste disposal? Look at the SDGs and say which SDG is that has been captured. Some are saying 3, others are saying 6. Which SDG? Clean water and sanitation, good health and well-being. People are saying 3, 6, 11. Okay, thank you. Yes, that means that for whatever problem, the challenge that children are going to come up with, you'll find that there is an SDG that is being captured in the process. Okay, we are going to continue. Now, what is this research we are going to do? I want to emphasize things in this part because this is what makes this individual project unique. At the end of the day, we are preparing these children for university. So we want these children to be ready for the next level they are going to. Now, when we talk about research, the research process, research originates from French. The word research originates from French. And it has this RE and it has what we call search. Initially, this word had its etymology. It was this was how it was. Now, when we talk about re, it means again. That is the meaning. Then when we talk about cheli, it means to find out, to find. That is the meaning. To search, to seek, to look, to examine, to investigate, to explore. That's what we call the research. So research means that these children are going to be finding out. They are going to be seeking. They want to add on. So the research, it's that process of arriving at a dependable solution through planned, systematic collection, analyzing, and interpreting of data. We want children to be able to give decisions that are data-driven, not to come up with conclusions that do not have evidence where they have obtained their data. Now, the research process is going to involve things concerning finding out. It needs a planning process. It needs collecting data, analyzing it, and then you interpret what you have found out. Now, the first thing that we have gone through has been identifying a problem, a challenge within the community. But what is composed of the research problem? When these children find a problem that is affecting the society, when they are stating this problem, what should be contained within the problem statement? Now, under the problem statement, we are going to have 3 things. What we call the ideal, what we call the real part, and the effect, and then the significance. Those are the 3 things that are going to be contained within the research problem. Now, what does it mean? When the child is looking at the ideal part, what should be? What is that you expect to be in a normal society? Then the real part, what is happening? When you go to schools, you find children taking drugs, taking alcohol. That is the real part. But the ideal part, you wouldn't expect any child below 18 years to be taking alcohol. or even that is still in school. Then you are going to look at effect. An effect is what we call an immediate consequence. That if someone takes this substance, what is the immediate consequence that these children have chances of even dropping out of school, misusing the fees? They are going to get mental issues. Now that's what we call the immediate consequence. Then significance is the long-term importance of this solution that you are trying to find out. How do we state an ideal path? Now, this is an example of an ideal path. What should be the ideal thing in society? So it says that in a well-functioning school environment, learners maintain health behaviors and positive mental well-being, free from substance use. Because we have said that in a normal environment, you wouldn't expect children to abuse substances. So you expect them that they will concentrate on their studies, make informed decisions, actively participate in school activities. And once their mental being is good, their discipline at school is going to be good, they are going to relate very well with their friends, academic performance is going to be okay, and their overall development. But what is the real thing happening in schools? The real thing is that when we go to very many schools or some schools, you are going to find that schools are reporting issues concerning mental well-being. You are going to find schools that have found children with alcohol, with cigarettes on reporting days. Many times when children are reporting, you find them with weed, you find them with marijuana, you find them with cat. Yeah? Even there is this new one that they are smoking. Now, what is going to happen? What is happening is that issues of indiscipline are increasing. I think recently, was it last week? One of the schools in one of the districts in Western Uganda was closed because of the indiscipline issues. Children are going to start missing school. We are going to have issues concerning concentration among the learners. And later on, if you go to rehabilitation centers, you'll find that very many children between the ages of 11 and 17 are under rehab. Recently, there is a message that has been circulating on social media on how Butabika Hospital is now crowded, is flooded, because very many children are going in there for support. Now, that is an issue we are facing as a community, as a society. Can we have solution to it? Now, you are going to go and ask, what about the effect and significance? Now, that means that if these children continue to use substances, what is going to happen? We are going to have issues on mental well-being. You are going to find these children are stressed, they have anxiety, behavioral disorders, they cannot control themselves. Discipline issues are going to raise. And at the end of the day, what will happen? You will see that they no longer concentrate in class. They're always sleeping, dozing, dodging lessons, always fighting against teachers and school policies. What will happen? Their academic performance is going to decline. And later on, it can lead to school dropout. But what is the significance, the long-term effect? That these children are going to have issues concerning mental well-being. They are going to have issues with their mental health, and it will be a big issue that will affect them at a later time. So, yes, so those are some of the issues that we are going to look at. Now, this is how we state a problem. The problem must have those three things: the ideal, the real, and then the effect, and then the significance. Now, what are we going to do? After you coming up with this problem that the community is facing, you are going to come up with a topic. And when you look at the problem, okay, I would have asked you to tell me what topic you would use. But let me ask you, type in the chat. If you are to give a topic to this problem we have, which topic would you state? Yeah. Which topic would you state? Which topic would you give it? Or which topic are we giving it? I want you to just come up to tell us that probably this is the topic that I would have used for such a problem. Drug abuse. Okay, thank you. Substance abuse, drug abuse in high schools, drug abuse, impact of drug abuse, substance abuse. Okay, thank you. Now you have identified what I wanted. Now, the first thing I want always, when you are stating your topic, things you need to avoid. Number one, avoid using effect, avoid using impact, avoid being a biased person. The moment you use abuse, it means you're already biased. When we are stating a topic, we must always be neutral when we are stating a topic. So avoid using things that are biased. Hope now that is very clear. So for any topic you are coming up with, avoid being on one side. You mentioning drug abuse, you are already leaning on one side. So you shouldn't have a side where you are leaning because you are going to investigate. So being that if you say drug abuse, that means that you already know what you are going to find out. So investigation means that you want to seek more. So that is where now I'm coming up with, such that we can come up with a topic. Now, I'm going to display different topics such that we can learn how to generate those topics. Number one, when you look at this topic I have displayed, it says drug abuse in Uganda. Now, this is a very broad topic. That's number one. After being so broad, you ask yourself, will this child go to the whole of Uganda and collect data about drugs abuse? Actually, no. Now, always when we are stating the topics, we must narrow them and be within a specific area. Number two, it is a biased topic because you have already mentioned that it is drug abuse. So you shouldn't be negative when you are stating your topic. Now, so number three, it is not measurable. By measurability, we mean that it doesn't have the variables which can be used to collect data. And it's not focused. So such a topic cannot be a good topic for a child to take it on. Number two, topics that include effect of drug abuse, influence of this. Avoid using these biased words of effect, influence of, things concerning impact of this and this. Now, such words result into what we call longitudinal research. Results into that research that may require a long period of time. Because for you to know the impact of something, you may not be able to sit within a short period of time. Yet the time our children have is a limited time. So our research that we are going to do, the individual project that children are going to do, must be carried out, should be able to be carried out within a short period of time. So when we are stating these topics, we must be neutral in a way. So you don't state it based on one side. You mentioning effect of drug abuse, that is an essay you are writing, of which you don't need to go in the field and write about it and search about it. Effects of drug abuse. You will just sit down, go to the internet and find out the data. But here you are seeking, you want to investigate further. Yes, influential still results into longitudinal research. So avoid as much as we want to things using to what extent impact and the rest of that. We must always avoid such words when we are stating our topics. So your topic should be in a neutral format and it should be connected by different variables that you are going to be measuring. Okay, now when we talk about a topic must have the variables. When we talk about variables, those are the things that change, something that can change. So we have what we call an independent variable. These children, when they were still at O level, biology, chemistry, physics, all those subjects we are talking about variables. in their practicals, meaning that these words are not new to them. They have already an idea. What does it mean? When we talk about an independent variable is a causal, is what causes something, is a predictor, is an input. So we call it a cause of something. Then we have what we call a dependent variable. A dependent variable is the result, is the effect. What results, once this is done, what will result into this? An example I'm going to give you is that what happens when the salary is increased? When a teacher's salary, I'm just using this as an example, when the teacher's salary is increased, what is the likely outcome? That maybe you'll find that this teacher, the standards of living is going to improve, is going to become a better teacher, maybe in terms of research, will get a laptop and the rest of that. That is the effect. That is the outcome. That's what is going to result. However, in between there, the salary can become high, but you may find that the teacher standards of living have not gone up. Now, such factors that may result into, such as things concerning maybe family issues, has a lot of dependents and the rest of that. Now, those issues are what we call the mediating variables, or what we call the intervening variables. Now, those variables there, maybe the children may not have looked at them, but at this level, we may not bring them a lot in. But also those ones exist. But the major thing when we are stating the topic, we must have a cause and then the effect, but stated in a neutral format. Now, if I may ask, even causes, I've said causes, impact, effect, yeah, those ones, don't use those words when it comes to stating the topic. Okay, now, if I may ask, okay, let me first answer. Yes, Teacher Bruno.
Right. Thank you very much, Senior Kazira. My question is, you said we are not supposed to use statements like, or words like impact and influence. What if I am a learner and I use a word like relationship between probably drugs and student school retention? Could that be okay, or it still doesn't hold in water? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Teacher Bruno. Now, using the word relationship and the rest of that, we shall use that one. We do not use it when we are stating the topic, but when we are stating the objectives and the research questions, those words can be utilized. So we shall use it there when we are stating. I will show you how to use it, the word relationship, when you are trying to relate the two variables. So we are going to use it there. I'm going to show you an example of a topic, and I'm sure by the end of the day, everyone would have learned how to state a topic. Okay, so, okay, lastly, Teacher John. Okay. Okay, I think we can. Now, when you look at the problem we have been dealing with, I showed you the problem. Can everyone identify what causes? What is the cause? Because I've told you that we must be able to know the cause. Now, when you read through, I want to the real situation. What cause do we have? What causes something? Now, one of the issues you are going to look at here, that many of the things that are resulting, they are caused by something. In the chat, what do you think is causing all these issues of indiscipline, absenteeism, concentration, and the rest of that? Okay. I know people are thinking. Now, after understanding okay, very good. Drug abuse, substance abuse, drug abuse, and the rest of that. But like I've said, when we are stating, we do not use negative words. So what is going to happen? is that for such a problem we have been dealing with, I'm going to use substance use as my variable. Why am I using substance use? Because when you look at substance use, and I want you always, before you use the word drug, you need to go and investigate what does a drug mean. You need to go and check the World Health Organization, go and check those drugs. When they talk about drugs, when you use the word drug, you are eliminating alcohol as a drug. So drug mainly, you need to go and check out, is it drug or substance? But the right word to use is substance. So I will say substance use. Now, this is the cause. And what effect does it have? Because like you notice that my concentration was on Witabika issue. So it is causing issues concerning the mental well-being of children. And this is the effect. But when you look at how I've stated it in a neutral format. That means that substance use for you is neutral, or it is a bit positive. Mental well-being is also positive. Now, I've connected my IV and the DV. I've connected the two variables. And when you're connecting the two variables, we use a connector. The connector we use is AND. AND is a connector. Now, a good topic, whatever level you are going to be at, be it at a degree level, be it at master's level, be it at PhD level, a good topic must be specific in what variables we are going to use. It is only at PhD level where you can have longitudinal research, whereby your research can be continuous, you do it over a full year. Now, when these are the two variables, that means that here you are looking at that when a child uses substances like alcohol, cigarettes, and the rest of that, chicha, and the rest of that, it will affect his mental well-being. That is the meaning. However, also because we cannot do this thing in all schools or where in all communities across the country, you must be selective. You must have a case study. So that's why I've used the word selected secondary schools in Wakiso district, Uganda. That means that my area, my scope is going to be within Wakiso district, and I'm conducting this research in Uganda. Because our children cannot reach everywhere, that means that they are going to make some samples. And I want to let you know that you cannot do research in just one school. So don't think that they will do research in your own school. What does it mean? That these children will have to get exposed to try to go to different schools and get some information that will inform their research. At the end of the day, what you need to have at the back of your mind that we are preparing these children to learn methods of data collection, to learn how to analyze data. That's why in term 3, when you look at that GP syllabus, the syllabus was very specific. Children must be able to learn how to collect data, analyze it. That's why you as a teacher, we expect that during last year, you taught those children how to come up with questionnaires, how to interview people. Yes, such things, Yes. So I repeat, you cannot make research in one school. So never specify that it's going to be in this and such a school. No, it should be within. You cannot make a conclusion based on one community. Because you have, take an example, you have meant me. You cannot say that this person is bad. Or you cannot conclude and say people who are short are bad. No. How many have you meant before you make your conclusion? So we cannot come up with a conclusion. We cannot come up with a decision when you have used only one school as a sample. So we expect that these children are going to reach out to different people within different schools such that they can have good data. But also, we do not mention school names. You don't specify the school where you have got the data. No, that is anonymous. So you protect their privacy. What does it mean? When you look at a good topic, it has to have a location. Where are you going to collect that data? 2, if at all it is within community, in case this child was going within the community, then it is okay for the child to put the community, the village the community that is going to be within Mbale district, Uganda. That is very okay. However, there is some research where we call them stratas. There is some research we can just carry out within given communities that are known. Also, that research is there. If a child is going to work on things concerning special needs, those are few schools we have within the country. So that one, it is very okay for them not to put Uganda, but the districts may be different, because you cannot just conclude on one school of special needs and say this is what is happening and this could be the solution without studying different environments. So that is what we are doing. So there are quite a lot of things. Yes. So so in case someone doesn't want to state it like this, you can say substance use and mental being of learners, a case of selected schools in Wakiso district, Uganda. That is very okay. Case study. That is very okay, Teacher Bruno. But not abuse. When you say substance abuse, you are becoming negative. Yet we must be neutral. It can be substance use and academic performance of learners, because use of substances have an impact on the child's mental well-being. It can be teacher staffing and cultivation of self-directing skills. Yes, it can be school infrastructure facilities and the academic performance of children. So you look at different variables, but the variables you are coming up with must be variables that are measurable, variables where you can get data, where you can collect information. Don't come up with variables or things where you are not going, because it is through these variables where we are going to come up with a research question. Here now we shall see that how does substance use affect the mental being of learners in Wakiso district, Uganda? Now that is a research question. So in order for us to come up with a research question, it means that we must have clear variables where it is easy to collect data. Whenever you have a topic where data collection is not possible, then it means that your child will not have researched. We want them to utilize the knowledge that these children learned about data analysis. How are they going to collect the data? In order for us to come up with the evidence, in order for us to make informed decisions, we always need data. You can never make a right decision if you do not have evidence, if you have not gathered data. That's why children must learn some of these skills at an early stage. For you to solve a problem, you must have gathered data. You must have found out what is really happening, such that you can take the right decision. So that is what we are going to deal with. So things like I've said, when you are stating the topic, avoid being negative. Things of indiscipline, that is already negative. That's already negative. When it comes to location, the child can put any location where you can get the data, where you are going to collect the data. That is the most important thing. Then when you use the word increased, still that one you are becoming biased. When you use the word drop out, you are already becoming biased. So all those words must be avoided. All those words should be avoided when you are stating your problem. Things of, let me give you more words that are going to be biased. Whenever you are stating the topic, avoid being biased. Avoid using negative statements. In other words, avoid showing your perspective. Let me say, mention the word drop out. Mentioning words like analyzing the factors that are contributing to the decline of this. That means you already know that already the factors that are contributing to the decline of something. That is the meaning. Yes, and like I've told you, research cannot be done in one school. Yes. Yes, so that is how we state the topic. Why don't I test? Let me test and see whether we are picking something. I have a problem there. Now, I want you to identify the cause and then the effect. I want us to state. I want you to identify the independent variable and then the dependent variable. Mm. Yes, I've given you time. I want you to read through and then identify. I think you have seen this is one of the problems we are facing in schools. So you need to get that variable. That is now what I want you to identify. Identify it. When you identify, feel free to share with us in the chat. Identify the independent and then the dependent. So I'm waiting for people to hey. Uh-huh. Okay, people are still thinking. Okay, I'm giving you more time. Yes, read through, identify, check out how does this affect this? How does this affect this? How does this cause this? Mhm. Okay, thank you. Hey, I repeat, avoid using negative words in your topic statement. Words poor, effect, what, do not use them. Hey. I'm happy. One of the things that I'm happy is that many of us have been able to identify the dependent variable very well. Some of you, I'm going to start mentioning. Uh, uh, yes, some of you have incomplete. In your topic, at least have those two come out very well. Okay. So let me confirm that the DV is on academic performance. The DV is on academic performance. That is okay. Now, what issue? Remember, what I want you to know that what causes this? Hey, what causes poor subject selection? Hey, what is causing the poor subject selection? Because poor subject selection is what is bringing all the problems. So what is it? Where is the problem? What is the problem? Yes. Yes, very good. I'm happy. People are saying guidance on subject selection. Because when you read through their thing, however, students select subject without adequate guidance or accurate information. What does it mean? It means that the problem is that in schools are not giving children the guidance on how to select subject. So what is bring that? And that, how do we call it in school setting? That is career guidance. So that means that they are only influenced by peers, parents, subject probability, Are you noticing that? Yes. So what has and perform poorly? And what is the effect? Consequently, many struggle to cope up with chosen subject, losing motivation, or perform poorly. What does it mean? It means that if a child is not given the right career guidance on the combination to do, this particular child is going to mess up with the combination. Consequently, his academic performance is going to be bad, which can later on lead to dropout, stress, and the rest of that. Yes, so that is what I wanted you to notice. I'm very happy that many of us were able to identify academic performance. So here, guidance on subject choice and academic performance in selected schools, career guidance and academic performance, but we don't use, I want to repeat, we must have two variables. Now here our variables could be career guidance on subject choice, guidance on subject choice, that is okay, or career guidance or guidance on subject choice. Then the dependent variable could be academic performance. Yes. Now those are very okay. Yes. Then when you mention parental guidance on subject combination, here you are saying that it is the parents who are supposed to give guidance to the children. No, can be anyone within the school community. It should be involved by very many parents. That's why schools always call on for career guidance day. That's when they always call on those meetings, such that also parents make contribution. So career guidance and academic performance, it is very, very okay. Those who are saying guidance on subject choice and academic performance, that is very, very okay. Yes. Yeah. So that is how you are able, you are supposed to identify. So at least those two variables must come out clearly. You must come up with those variables clearly, and they must stand out such that your research is well directed. The direction must be very, very clear. So when you check out this problem is within still education. And now you need to also, when you are doing all these things, make sure you know where can you obtain some of this information. That you can obtain some information using statistics that UNEB has provided. You can obtain some of the data from schools. You can obtain data from Ministry of Education. Yes, because some of these things we are coming up with, we must be able to, you must be able to know where the data is going to be found, where you're going to get that data to support your argument. Hope that is okay. That is okay. Before I leave this, may I first take on some few hands, around 4, if your question is on the topic. If your question is on topic. Yes, Teacher Samuel. Teacher Samuel?
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I need to, you said if someone said parental influence or guidance and academic performance or subject choice, you said there's a problem with that? What it is? I didn't get you right.
Parental
influence or guidance and academic performance.
Now, the
Did you
DV
say
is
that was
clear.
an issue or something?
Yes, yes. One of the thing is that, like I said, I guided earlier, that we should avoid using the word influential. When we use the word influential, it takes our research to, can I say, longitudinal direction. Number two, when you look at influence, it's not something that is easy to measure. How are you going to measure someone's influence on you? So that's where the issue now comes on. I don't know that it is clear, Teacher Samuel. Okay. Teacher Ronald?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Kaziwa, for your presentation. I guess I'm clear.
Yes, you are very clear.
Yes, I have two questions. One, you talked about that in case students do make research in some schools, they should protect the image of those schools.
Yeah.
And then my question is here, is it only schools that whose images should be protected? And then, in case the image is protected, is it okay like the newspapers do usually, in case they are protecting the identity of some, maybe they say, let's call this person Daniel, in case that's not their real name. I don't know that that is okay with it. In case they are to protect the image, is it okay to get like a substitute name for that school? Then question two is about still the topic. There are topics like corruption. Yes, you are saying that we should not be negative and what. But in case I'm to develop my research is on corruption, how can I come up with a decent topic really about corruption? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to start with that. One, like I've guided that there are some topics that are good, but obtaining data may not be easy for you. And even the institutions that may have that data, they may not be willing to give it to you. Now, when you go into issues, let me say, concerning corruption, you are going to ask yourself, how are you going to get data for people that are corrupted? Where are you going to get data? Remember here, your aim is that the child must add new data, new knowledge to the existing knowledge. So obtaining data on corruption cases and other issues sometimes may not. So there are some topics whereby getting the data is not easy. Yes, and that's one of the topics. There are some topics whereby getting the data, because now to get data, you may need to go to police, such that the police gives you some of that data, of which may not be as easy. However, some of that for research within that direction, that one I would advise that it can be done, but that one may require an advanced level for the child, because even just analyzing it, like we shall look at analysis of data. Analyzing that data is not something very easy using the simple tools that may be at the exposure of the learners. Then the second question was about schools. What I was we have what called the data privacy policy. Now, when we are doing research, we are going to generalize. We may specify the location, the area where we have done the data, but we don't specify. What if, remember, this data, we expect that external people are going to look at the information you have gathered. What if someone is already biased about that particular institution you have mentioned? What I don't want you to mention is that for you to go on and tell us in your data that I went on and I collected data from maybe Mbale Hospital, I went on to this hospital and this hospital. So here we protect those institutions unless when they give you the permission to go on and publish their data. But remember also, even if they give it to you, the people involved also must be protected. Yes. So do not mention the school or the communities where you have got your data. Just be generic, like say Wakiso and within this particular area. But you may not specify that when I went to Wakiso, I went to this school, this school, this school, this school, and they gave me the data. That's what I mean by protecting the schools. Now, we have what we call a verbatim. When you obtain data, in case you have reached the analysis part, and you want to quote someone, let me say you want to quote a statement from the head teacher. Now, that one, we also have a way to say it that according to Julius, then you have to use quotation marks and quote him very well in case maybe you want to use someone. That one is very okay. You can use someone's name in your quotation. Yes. But mentioning the schools, mentioning where we are, the people, no. Even on the questionnaires, I do expect that when you were handling questionnaires, you did not put names, because on questionnaires, we don't put names. We leave it anonymous, such that we don't get biased data. Because whenever someone gives you his or her name, he can be biased in responding to your questionnaire. So I don't expect you to have anyone's name in the data that you are mentioning, because it is anonymous and we want to get data that is neutral, that is fair, that is unbiased at all. Thank you. Yes, Teacher Julius? Okay. I'm failing to get, yes, Teacher Julius?
Thank you so much, our moderator. My question is on negative phrase.
On the negative phrase.
So how do we avoid negative phrasing, yet research topic problem focused issue, and most research are designed to address society challenges that are by nature. So I want to be enlightened on how I can avoid negative phrasing on something that is problem focused.
Yeah, I've given you some examples on how you can frame your topic. Now, some of those words, like effect and the rest of that, we are going to use them when we are generating objectives, when we are generating research questions. But I will show you at a later time how we use them. But we eliminate them from the topic. It is the topic that must be neutral. It shouldn't be biased at all. But when it comes to objectives and research questions, we shall take a given direction that I will show you when we reach that point. Yes, Chris? Okay. I'm failing to... Yes, Chris? Okay. Then lastly, Teacher Faizo.
Thank you, sir. My question is about unemployment. The word
About?
unemployment. Unemployment. I should be making a statement about unemployment. How can I handle it?
Now, when you are handling, now let me say unemployment and the rest of that, the first thing you may ask yourself, what are some of the issues causing unemployment? That is one. Because you know that unemployment has different types. We have people who are unemployed voluntarily and the rest of that. Now, when I'm working, let me say I'm looking at unemployment, I can approach it from the angle and I ask myself, what are those contributing factors to unemployment? There are people who are going to be unemployed because of the working conditions. So I can have my variable as working conditions and maybe and employee performance, something like that. So you can come in from what causes unemployment and then what effect. So you can come in from that angle. Let me hope you have got the idea that come in from the angle of what causes unemployment. That one of the issues can be working conditions. And what results from the working conditions? One of the things can be maybe they are not performing well. Yes, something like that. Yes, I repeat, impact is biased. So you cannot use the examine the impact. That is already one-sided. You know already high cost of education among single mothers of Homa Island. Yeah, that is already biased. Okay, allow me that we first proceed with. Yes, I've told you that when you are talking about unemployment, look at what causes unemployment. Could it be working conditions? And then you can approach it from working conditions. And what results when working conditions are not good? Maybe it will have an impact on the performance of the workers. So you can bring it from the issue of working condition and employee performance. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Some of these topics that you want, can I say, when you say examining the impact of high cost of education among, there's no way you are going to measure impact. Impact is a longitudinal thing. For you to know the impact it has created, you need a lot of time to study it. You need a lot of time to study it. Like for you to know the impact of education on someone, you may find that you need about 2 or 3 years. There are quite a lot of things, so you cannot know how impactful it is. Then Teacher Martha is saying, but you are zeroing down to a very small element of unemployment, working conditions. Yes, Teacher Martha. The reason is that whenever your topic is very broad, you may not be able to work on it. It may need a lot of time, it needs a lot of resources. For you, if you are to tackle the issue of unemployment, you will find that you are going to need a lot of resources, even sponsorship, for you to do that topic. That's why I say that let the topics be very small, that can be done within a short period of time. For you to break down unemployment alone, you may find that it has quite a number of variables. Yes, so that's why we want a smaller chunk. Get something small that you are going to look at. That even when we reach breaking down, because we are going to reach on creating conceptual framework, how we come up with the objectives, you'll notice that working conditions alone may have about 10 issues you can look at under working conditions. Yes, so if you are to look at unemployment, then you look at quite a lot of things. Yes. Yes. Other words we can use that are not biased. You can use the word utilization. That is okay. And when you are mentioning, I also want to make it clear. When you are mentioning, be very specific. Avoid general topics. Let me say, someone says, digital tools. Digital tools is something very big. A child may not be able to work on it. Those are PhD things that it will involve that. So that's why I'm saying zero it down. Let it be something that is clear, something that a child can be able to do within a short period of time. So don't mention digital tools. Even let me just mention, let me say someone said the competence-based curriculum, and that is something very big. Even just mentioning generic skills, that is something very big. Zero down to one. Maybe self-directed learning skills, ICT proficiency, computer literacy. You zero down to one thing such that within that one, you are able to break it down and investigate thoroughly. Remember, we have said research means that you are going to investigate, you are going to seek, you are going to dig deep and understand something at depth. And not you just looking at surface. Yes. Okay, I want to repeat. Okay. Yeah, this is a simple project, and I've told you it is providing guidance to entry into university. So we need to guide the children better on which topics can be easily handled and those topics that may require a lot of time. Yes, and I repeat, this is an individual project. Us to have one thing. In case I'm talking about social media, I can talk about social media use and the well-being of children or mental well-being of children. That is okay. Then when I reach under social media use, I'll ask the frequency, I'll look at the type of applications they use. That's your breaking. Hey. Now, someone is asking, can we draw? Now, at higher levels, we go deep into these things. When you go at higher level, when you are handling research, is that you go deep into theories, you go into deep into conceptuals and the rest of that. At this level, you don't go deep into that. We only go at the surface. The learner being able to argue out, the learner being able to research, to use different sites, to read information. Those are the skills we are looking out for. To be able to collect data. Yes. Yes, teenage pregnancy is also, wide. Okay, allow me to continue. Now, when we are handling these projects, we have what we call an individual project logo. Now, an individual project logo is what we are going to use to track the progress and reflect on the learning throughout the project. So it will contain the date, activity, remarks, and then the reflection. How does it look like? Now, some of these, okay, how does it look like? Okay, before I leave the topic, okay. Okay, it looks like this. Let me say this is the child. The child has come up with the topic. So you'll take note that this is just a piece of paper, and these ones we always put them under appendix. So I'll come and I say that today is 6th. So I'll say 6th of April 2026. Activity undertaken. Then the child will take note which activity that I'll say learning about problem statement, and setting the topic. That is the activity the child has done. Then the remarks, this one can be from the teacher. Here, you can say taught about topic statement. Then the reflection is from the child. What has he been able to learn? So the child will reflect that maybe I learned how to generate a topic. It must have this, it must have this and this. That is under reflection. Now, this sheet of paper that the child writes keeps on. It is always put under the appendix A in your research. Then we have what we call also a checklist. Now, this checklist, I want to be very clear. This is a checklist that I'm using for where I am for the school, but it's not from UNEB. But it helps me to check whether the learner is on track on what he or she is doing. So how does the checklist look like? Now, the checklist, when the learner gives you a topic, as a teacher, you have to go and check out, is it based on real life community? Is it linked to the thematic area? Does it address a current issue? Then you go on like dividing this topic into different sections. Is it research? Is data? So that's how it looks like. This is just, I developed it for my personal use and for the children, such that they know whatever they are coming up with. In case you find that the topic the child has come up with needs refinement, then I say it needs refinement. Then I will put here my comment as a teacher that your topic is one-sided, this and this and this. Yes. So that's what we can use when it comes to this kind of checklists. So that is briefly about the what? The project logo. And then, okay, we have also a portfolio, but that one I think I'll show you at a later time. So what is going to be your homework? So I'm going to request you that when you go back, you are going to identify a thematic area. Identify a societal challenge. Then what you are going to do, develop a problem statement. From there, formulate a topic and check your topic. And using the topical approval checklist I've showed you. And where necessary, you go on and improve it. Because for you to be able to come up with a topic for this project that the children are supposed to do, you as a teacher, you must first try it out, because children are going to come up with different ideas, are going to come up with these ideas. And if you have not tried out, you are not on the same page, you'll find that you are going to get challenges. You are going to get challenges. So that is what is very important. People are saying influence, effect, and the rest of that. Those words we shall use them for, because those words are directional in nature. They take you to one side. So we shall use them for objectives and research questions. So if we do very well with these projects that the children are getting, one of the key things that these children are going to be able to acquire, these children are going to learn how to make research. These children are going to be able to identify problems within. They are going to get those skills of analyzing data. If you go to universities these days, you'll find that very many children do not do research on their own. They just give those people to do for them. You'll find that someone doesn't know even how to use some of these applications. But if we train our children very well, they will learn many of these skills. They are going to learn about critical thinking. They are going to be able to think and solve problems. They'll be able to analyze issues. They'll be able to evaluate and make decisions that are well informed using data. When it comes to communication, in one of the sessions I will tell you that these children are going to be presenting, making real presentation. We shall call it viva voce, where they will present and then their work will be critiqued. Then also self-management. They'll be able to organize their work. They are going to be able to manage their time effectively. Yes, so there are quite a lot of things that these children are going to be learning in the process. So as a teacher, even collaboration, because we have said we want these children to be able to work with the communities. It is always very unfortunate for a child to study and there is now any way he links the knowledge he has learned to a community. So the solutions they are going to be coming up with, these solutions are going to be taken back to the community to support and make our communities better. If a child comes up with a solution, that solution will be utilized to make his or her community much better. So that is what you call the skills. So that all the generic skills are going to be attained. The only issue is that our work as teachers is to guide and support the children to learn these things at an early stage. What we are doing here is not something new. Other countries have been doing them. Yes, those who have had children who have participated in Olympiad, this is the kind of work they have been doing. And they start as early as senior 4 to do this kind of work. So it's not something that is very new, but it's something that we can embrace and support. I know it might be something very new, but I know with the positive mindset, as long as we change our mindset from issues, will you never consider it? Will the children, those things of marks, and the rest of that. If we can convert that, what we are doing is that we are equipping children with skills that are relevant for the 21st century. So your work as a teacher is to ensure that the child gets this skill. Let them have this skill such that they can be able to make impact on the community where they are coming from. And you'll see, if you guide them very well, they will be able to come up with good topics. So far, I have a school where children have been able to generate over 90 topics. Each child has generated his own in the different areas. As a teacher, you must now guide them better. You tell them, do this, do this. Here we need to improve. Here we need to improve. We have children who have come up with topics concerning extracurricular activities. The child is looking, how does extracurricular activities promote the well-being of a child? And that's what the child is going to investigate. Others are looking at how does language, this indigenous language, promote the communication skills. Now, those are the different things that the children can do. So for it is just a matter of a child identifying the problem. Then as a teacher, you support them with how to come up with a topic. Those who have been at university recently, you must have noticed that now many of the universities want research. They want to be research-based because that's where the world is. They want people to create knowledge. They want people to add new knowledge to find out and solve problems within the society. So I want to ask you that, and I want to let you know that one of the things that we need to pay attention to, that as an individual teacher of GP, you are not going to be able to manage this work alone. Be it you 2, be it 3 teachers in a school, you will not manage. So I want the school administrators that are on the call, kindly empower the whole staff, your staff, all the teachers in school to get on board. Why? Because this work is demanding. The children must be able to have support from teachers. They will need gadgets. This work is not handwritten because according to what UNEB is thinking, is that they want even to have this work after the child has done the work to be uploaded to the portal such that it can be marked. In some, those who have been following some curriculum for other countries, you have noticed that once a child finishes this project, he or she submits it and then it is externally assessed. Yes, so you just upload it there and then you will get the scores. But it is one of the best things we have got in this curriculum. It is a very good idea that is going to teach the children. But as an individual teacher, you will not manage. Bit 2, bit 3, bit 4. Every child needs, every 5 children will need 1 teacher to be able to follow up through very well. But if you think you are going to handle it alone, that is not possible. So talk to your school administrator such that you can work as the whole staff to have these children managed well, to have these children supported as much as you can. Don't do it alone, but let's use the staff, empower them, because you are going to be reviewing their work on a daily basis. I want to, I'm going to share, I'm going to share my screen and I show you part of what the children are doing currently. Because this work must be reviewed. This work must be reviewed. So you cannot tell me that the child, you'll have you yourself alone do this work. No, it may require many people to support you to look through the work because you may not be able to read. Now, I know another question that may come in is going to be, what if we do not have laptops, we do not have computers and the rest of that? I'm going to ask that let's see on how to improvise, because there is no any university, there is any community where the child is going to go and they'll have to write that work manually. So at the end of the day, there are some skills that we are training this child to have. One of the skills is the ICT proficiency. So we want these children to learn those ICT skills. So you're going to improvise. You look, this is one of the topics the child is working on. But you can notice that as a teacher, I have to read everything that the child has come up with. And remember, we are still on the first phase. So that means that if you are going to do such, it means that it will require a lot of time for you to be effective at it. So that's why I'm saying that we shall need the support of other teachers to come in and support you such that you yourself, your work is to guide. Yes, so that is one thing that I wanted to bring to your attention. Things concerning, are we going to write the work or it's going to be typed? I want to say that typing is the best. If the resources do not allow, utilize the few resources you have. You have gadgets. I remember in holiday, I showed you how you can convert the written work into Word. Let the learners learn these skills as early, such that at university or any other community where they are going to serve, they do not suffer with anything. Can I do my research in chapters? I want to say yes, that one is very okay. And I know when I reach that point, because remember, this is the first session. We are going to have 5 sessions. And by the end of the 5th session, you will see the complete document. That's why today I want us to always talk about the topic, the problem statement, such that when we come back in our next session, now we look at how do we generate the research questions, how do we generate the topic, the objectives, how do we come up with an hypothesis, and how do we start an introduction. Will the project work be collected? According to what UNEB is coming up with, they want this work to be collected. So, and I want to repeat that, let's not look at max things. Let's have that mindset transformed. That is it relevant to the children? Are these skills relevant? That yes. So let's do the right thing as guided by the syllabus. Will this presentation be recorded? Yes, the presentation is recorded and you'll receive it. What is the impact on student concentration? Comment on this. Yes, I've said that the problem with this topic is that is impact. Studying an impact, it is not a one-year thing. It is something that needs time to look at it for a longer period of time. You need an extended period of time to know the impact something has had on someone. That's why I'm saying avoid using the word impact when you are stating your topic. So just say social media use. And now when you are talking about student concentration, it may be very hard for you to look out for the minor constructs within it. So you can say social media use, and maybe you can say social media use and mental well-being of children. It can be on performance or any other issue that you want to measure. Because you may not, it's not easy to measure concentration. How do you measure concentration? So it may not be easy. Teenage pregnancy, yes, there is the problem, but what causes teenage pregnancy is what you need to look out for. Yes, teenage pregnancy is a problem in the community, but what causes it? So go back and look at what causes the teenage pregnancy. That should be your IV, and then you say what result comes out from it. These documents will be shared on WhatsApp. The slides are going to be shared. Some of the personal learners there. Oh, now, yes, for the learners, we are going to have a session on one of the, either the last Saturday of this month or the first Saturday of May. We shall have a session for learners to take them through as well. I thought a topic should have an action. Action words are going to come when we are stating the objectives, such that because an objective should tell us what are you going to do. So what to do is going to come in objectives. Yes. Yes. Then in case you're working with the community, it is okay. In community, you will just mention among the youth, maybe you say your topic, in case the topic you are dealing with, you are looking at waste management and maybe health in the community and the rest of that. That is okay. Yes. So you must have that locality indicated well. And then the target group, yes. The things of youth cause and the rest of that, those ones, let's ignore them in our topics. And even I'm going to be specific that even when you are reading, you are looking out for the topics to look at, you look at current research, because research keeps on improving every day. When you look at the topics that were used before 2020, you'll find that those topics, some of those topics we are having investigate, examine, and the rest of that. But these things of assessing, examining, investigating, those ones calling for just an extended essay, an essay. Yes, of which an extended essay for a project is not the same as the other extended essay you have been writing for the other first number. Yes, for the moment, UNEB is still developing their track sheet, but you can come up with yours that as long as you have understood well the syllabus and what you need. The recording is going to be available on the YouTube. It's going to be available on the YouTube. How long will this project take? This project takes the whole of this year. So they are going to do it up to third term. Yes, that means that every time there is something they are going to be working on. When is our next meeting? You are going to propose in the chat, but according to my schedules, Monday 2 p.m. works better for me. So I was thinking that we shall have these sessions every Monday at the same time. But feel free to put the time that you think is favorable. Either it can be Saturday or Sunday. Yes, because the next session is going to come. We are going to have these sessions in different phases. The next session, we are going to look at something. The next phase, we shall look at maybe data analysis, because also you need to know how to analyze data. Then from the other phase, how to interpret data. So I want to take you through all the different phases concerning the project. How do we access the work? The work is going to be shared on different WhatsApp groups. Can you suggest other unbiased words apart from utilization? Okay. The word development is also okay. The word development can also be okay. Yes, I'm going to send the slides. The slides are going to be shared. The slides are going to be... Are we supposed to have a cover page? I want to say yes, we are supposed to have a cover page and the different content. What of literature review? Yes, that one is going to come under the body. Yes, and will it be... yes, I think that one, that's what we shall look at in our next session. Yes, yeah, I'm going to guide on every step we are going to look at, but we shall look at the methodology. We are going to look at data analysis as well. How do we analyze data? That one is going to be a full session on its own. What is the difference? Reflections, like I've showed you in the logo, reflection is going to look at what is it that the child has been able to learn. What are the different challenges that the child has been facing or has faced in the process of executing this project? That's what the child puts in the reflection. Conclusion, that is where the child is going to come up with a solution. Which solution has the child come up with in his project? The next session, I've proposed the Monday, but I'm still reading through the comments in the chat to find out which day people are suggesting. The slides are going to be shared. The slides are going... ICT, someone saying if learners are to do ICT, should be made compulsory. Okay, thank you for that proposal. Yes, but also I do believe that if we train these children early, if if we as a school, we make it deliberate, because take an example, I have a policy that for me, if you are submitting in your work for math or any subject that I teach you, I need it in soft copy. I don't, more so when you go for holiday, I'll give you work and I say I'll need it in soft copy. So by doing so, I'm indirectly forcing the child to learn how to use a computer, to learn how to use... yes. The slides are going to be shared. I'm going to share. Unfortunately, I didn't capture your emails, so I will not be able to share it on your email. Yes, I've given you, I think, in this presentation, more than 15 topics. Those who have been listening, I've been mentioning different topics that I've been giving you. Yes, every child must have. This is an individual project. So let every child create his own project topic. Yes, I've tested it somewhere and it is working. Every child can come up with his own. You remember, you looked at class size. Yes, someone can come up with a topic concerning the class size and achievement. Achievement is another positive word. Class size and achievement of learning outcomes. Yes, someone may try to look at what does, like when the class is big, are these students able to acquire these learning outcomes? Another person can look at infrastructure facilities and the development of the skills. When these children, if the school has infrastructure facilities, are children able? Another person may look at working conditions at different workplaces and how it affects the performance of employees. How do they perform? Yes, such things. I've said the topic is what contains your IV and DV. And then problem statement is what it should be, is like the problem the community is facing. Here you are talking about it in details. Yes, like I've said in the beginning, I clearly defined that individual project and extended essay. I want to say that an extended essay is going to come from the individual project report. Let me put it like that, Teacher Bruno. That an extended essay is going to come from the individual project report. Yes, but individual project report, we are going to make it in that extended form. Yes. And I showed you what is not going to be counted, how they count the 4,000 words. Okay. I think, yes, I think people are putting here their numbers. Yes, okay. I repeat, we shall use, okay, Saturday. Okay. Now, okay. Uh, okay, okay. Okay, I think, yes, those who are saying we have boarding students and they can't do, as a school, you are going to improvise. Because what you can do, you are going to, because we want you people to work with your communities. We want the communities to feel that you are in a school and the school is making contribution. At one point, when we reach that data collection, I will show you samples of letters that schools can draft, inform the community, and then they get there. Because not every time you must be in class studying. No, you can have a day, children go out of the school and then interact with the community. Okay. Okay. I think I have answered all the questions I saw in the chat. Unless I'm seeing a hand up. Let me pick on a hand from Samsung, a hand from Letitia. Kindly unmute. Kindly unmute.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So thank you for this presentation. But now you're saying that the slides will be shared on WhatsApp groups, and we don't have any WhatsApp, or person, I don't belong to any WhatsApp, so I don't know how we can have.
Yes, Letitia, how did you get here? Okay. But I've shared a link of the WhatsApp group. You can join that group. We shall share the details there. I've shared the group. Okay. Yes, Teacher Paul?
Thank you. My question is about, I'm sorry for taking you back, but I had a certain topic that I wanted to share with you people. It reads, it is kind of scientific because as I was interacting with the learners, some learner gave it to me, though I haven't given him any feedback. It says a design of a household biogas production from cow dung. I would like to know what could be wrong or right about this topic.
Okay. May I ask? Okay, teacher has gone. Yes, like we have said, that the topic you come up with, it should be one where you can collect data. So if a learner comes up with that, and that is just the end product. So that such a project is for these senior fours. It is okay for senior fours where the child comes up with the end product. Now at this level, if someone is to look at biogas, then he needs to study a given factor within the biogas thing. He can look at he can look at variables within the biogas. Maybe he's going to look at time. He may look at which kind of let me say, which kind of maybe those products they use, like the cow dung and the what is the best, how long does it take, and the rest of that. Now, that is for someone at A level, but just designing, that is mainly for O level. But now studying other factors, let me say, that one can fall under renewable energy. So if a child is going out to study other things about that particular one, like now he is going to look at how to improve it such that it can take maybe a longer time when burning and the rest of that, then that one makes it a bit much better. Yes, let me hope. And I want to also to let you know that scientific research topics may require additional resources for you to investigate. Take an example. Some of the children may want to look at, take an example in communities. We have solar. A child may want to, the problem may be that why is solar taking maybe giving us little light? Why do solar batteries get spoiled quickly? Such things. That is a valid problem in a community. But you ask yourself, what resources would the child need for him to execute that particular topic? You'll find that the child will have to work twice. As a school, you have to investigate to get those instruments to use such that the child may go further. Yes, because I know some universities have such materials. Let me say, I know Makerere has, Chambogo has. That means you have to work with Makerere and Chambogo to get those temperature things that can help you. So some topics are good, but getting data and investigating may take a lot of time, and they may require special resources that we may not have. Yes, so under biogas, you look at biogas production and how it can be used in improving household energy. Maybe use of biogas as an alternative source of energy. So you need to look at what is it that is going to be measured, yes, and what is that particular aspect, variable, that you want to measure in the biogas. Okay. Okay, I need to get Rosemary.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My question is, you talked about protecting the image of some institutions. Now, what if in the research, the learner wants to attach maybe pictures in their research to support it? And I'm very sure that when I talk about the community in which, when the learner talks about the community in which they carried out their research and they attach pictures of maybe students in a class, someone can just be in position to tell that this is this kind of school. So how do they go about that?
Now, it depends on the purpose of the picture. For any picture you put must be able to communicate and relevant to your project. Taking pictures of students, taking pictures of that, you ask yourself, how important are they? How are they contributing to research? So the only pictures we expect or things can be maybe we don't need evidence that children were filling in. Those ones you can just have them as a school. But in the appendix where we attach the photos that we expect to be attached should be photos concerning the graphical work. Let me say the child has analyzed the graph, has come up with a graph, histogram, line graph, and the rest of that. That is the kind of photo. But we don't expect photos, in case maybe the photo is about the community, let me say it's about waste management, and what, that is okay. But also you put caption down and you describe what the picture is communicating. But don't put people's faces in your picture, in your research. Have them outside. So the pictures we expect are those pictures for graph, for what, and the rest of that, but not these pictures concerning people. So and even when it comes to the school, when you take those pictures, you ask yourself, why am I taking it? Is it important? Because that taking the schools where you are going to go is main, in case you are going to collect data from schools, we expect that the school is going to write a formal letter introducing their children to that particular school, and we expect that these schools are collaborating. They're going to work together to have those children given time to have that kind of data. So we do not expect, as long as you have that letter of evidence, there is a letter that is going to be drafted by the school requesting that these children have gone to this and are going to go here and collect that particular data. But do not put schools, because your data may be biased. What if someone assessing your work is someone who has a bias already on that school? It means that the child is going to be disadvantaged. So that's why you don't put anything of bias to the schools. Okay. Let me teach Elijah.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Kaziba. We have shared the link here. Those who want to fill in their contacts, then you can use that to add many to some WhatsApp groups. Then my question is, I didn't understand when you talked about project report and extended essay. The 4,000, 3,000 word limit, is it applying to only the project report or to the extended essay? And which one are we submitting? Is it the extended essay or the project report, or both?
Okay. What I'm saying is that the project report we are going to come up with is going to be at the same time our extended essay. And we are going to write it within the 4,000 limit. However, you take note that when we are coming up with that extended essay or that report we are coming up with, it's going to be within, there are things that are not calculated. However big it may look like, there are things that are not calculated. Things concerning pictures, those titles of chapters, those things of list of pages, what all those words are not. So you'll find that it's going to take about 16 to 17 pages, those words. And in the next session, that's where I'm going to talk about it. So in the next session, I will show you how to reference. I'm going to show you how to have an introduction, objectives, and that's why I'm going to ask that when we are coming back for the next session, better you join using a computer, because some session we may need to be practical on some areas, such that you do it as I do it here. Which referencing style do we use? We use APA, or we can use the Modern Language Association style. But that one is for the next session. Yes. Now, when is the next session? So next session is going to be on the 13th, that Monday of next week. That's when we shall have it. Then the other session is going to be on the 20th. So for you, just keep Mondays at 2 p.m. so you can plan better with your school. You can plan better with your school. Okay. Yes, Teacher Esther. Okay, I think I'll fail to get. Yes, John K. John K.
Yes, hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, good afternoon, colleagues and Mr. Kaziba. Thank you so much, dear friend. At least we have moved far from where it started from up to now where we are. Now, my request to teachers who are online is that the way we started with the O level, and now we are switching to A level. I will advise that as we did at O level, making learners to be engaged, this is a part also where we need learners at an advanced level to be ready to defend what they have given in the way of making the essay as Mr. Kaziba has been giving it. Maybe the format is what I will request Mr. Kaziba to elaborate. As you have said, the next time it will be visual via a laptop. Then I will advise or I will request that if it is okay, you make the presentation to be compatible to areas where people who will not be able to access the laptop. Is it okay for you to make it adjusted so that those with the tabs and the smart good phones can be compatible for easy display of work? Because if you say people come up with laptops, you'll find that very few across the country, basing on the link, how far it has gone, people to come online, you'll find that we shall have a difficulty in line. Then the other point is to request teachers. Here at A level, we expect serious evidence from the learner. Whatever is going to be assessed is going to be based from the learner. People will be having the other thing saying, after all, it is the first set at A level, we may think otherwise. The way words are going to be calculated and being assessed, I will advise that we pay much attention. We encourage the learners and we request school administrators to start giving you these options of moving into the society. Because whatever we are learning, whatever we are teaching learners, it should be a problem that is going to help the society. So people who think that everything is going to be involved into a school setup, you will find that in this way of answering at an advanced level, you'll have issues, and we shall find people in the report of UNEB where they will say learners failed to interpret what was required based on the concept. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much for the addition, Teacher John. Okay, HMD and lastly, Huawei.
Thank you very much, the facilitator of the day. As I have had the challenges that have come up with the things of individual project work, my question is, I may be having a problem which is negative, for instance, domestic violence, and yet you have said that we are not supposed to show the negative side. So if I want to show like domestic violence on the mental well-being of learners in some schools, how do I state such a topic? Thank
Okay, what causes domestic violence?
It is a lot. For instance, you might find that there are misunderstandings between parents, maybe cheating, maybe the man takes a lot of alcohol and then comes back when he's not stable. And then you find that at some point, the parents, either the mother or the father, is diverted by the peers that he or she has all the time. So I would like to know, how can I state such a topic?
Okay. Okay. I'm going to sum it up. There's another one I saw about indiscipline. I'm going to answer them at a go. Okay. Yes. Lastly, Esther.
Thank you so much, the presenter. We are really grateful for your efforts. Now, I just also wanted you to evaluate something here. There is a topic that I was trying to come up with on teenage pregnancy, but I'd stated it this way. I'd said poverty and teenage pregnancy on girl child in Wakiso district. Then I was also linking that to also domestic violence that a certain teacher has just talked about poverty and domestic violence, maybe on family in Serere district. I don't know
No,
how those topics are.
in
I'm
second
sorry
year.
I joined it a bit. I joined a bit late, but you can help clarify.
ayagala kuanalyzinga teenage pregnancy but with the cause of poverty. Ayagala to in that line. There are a lot of causes. But yeje ayagala madam.
Okay, okay. Uh, thank you for the questions. Now I'm going to repeat. Now, some of those issues concerning topics that are a bit negative, we can make it neutral, and then there is a part we are going to reach on. Let me say now, when I'm talking about things concerning domestic violence, I'm talking about teenage pregnancy and the rest. Sometimes you may find that some of the things are under family related issues. Now, when we are stating it, I can come in from the angle of family related issues. Then when I reach into digesting, because there is a point where we are going to reach when we are developing the conceptual framework, where we are going now to digest that under family issues, what are you going to concentrate on? Because domestic issues originate from family issues. Now, there is a point where we are going to reach on, and then we are going to break them into smaller, let me say, we are going to make it much smaller. Because you may find that domestic violence is caused by something within the family. So when we are talking about domestic violence, here you have brought in it in negative format. But when you bring in from the angle of family related issues and then the academic performance of it, you have put some kind of coating. But when you reach in stating objectives, then you become more specific on what you want to talk about under the family issues. The same thing when it comes to indiscipline. You may not talk about indiscipline as a topic, but you can talk about discipline as an issue. Then, when discipline among students, and then you talk about their academic performance. But when you talk about discipline, you ask yourself, what are those issues under the discipline that you are going to talk about? What are those things that you think cause indiscipline issues? Yes. So that is how we are going to be breaking them. Because when you talk about domestic violence, you need to look at the frequency of exposure. You need to look at the type. Is it physical? Is it emotional? Is it verbal? How is the level of conflict at home? How is the parental relationship? And some of these things, you may find that when you are talking about domestic violence, you may not be able to look which parent is going to give you that data. That is another thing you ask yourself. Which parent is going to give you? I know you may ask the children and they will tell you, they will give you some of those responses. But how are you going to find out how many children are being tortured in that format? So when you are coming up with things, also ask, where is it going to? Now, when I'm stating that one, I'm going to use family environment and academic performance of learners. Let me hope I've answered you. When I'm talking about that topic of what that topic of violence, I would say family environment. I can say home environment and academic performance of learners in selected secondary schools, or a case of this and the rest of that. Let me hope I have answered you in that format. Yes, so that is how you can state it in a neutral format. Family environment, home environment, and then the academic performance of learners. So when you go there, we shall look at how you can now break it into smaller particles. The person who asked about indiscipline issues, then for you can say now. Even now, I forgot to let you know that when you are talking about when you are talking about pregnancy, then you can put it adolescent pregnancy. teenage pregnancy and academic performance. That one makes it neutral. Adolescent pregnancy and academic performance of learners. That is okay. Then when you are stating, I want you also to be very careful how you state them. One is that when we are talking about competence-based curriculum or learners, we use learners, not students. Teachers, we use facilitators. So stick to the language being used in the curriculum. So I don't expect you to say children, maybe students, we use learners. In case you are talking about teachers, don't use teachers, say facilitators. So the language also matters. That's why I'm telling you that even next week, I will let you know that the research should be between these years and these years. So that's how you can state your topics. Yeah. Okay. Those themes can appear on your title page. Those themes can appear on your title page. Let me hope that people who asked about how to put domestic violence, how to put indiscipline issues, early pregnancy, you have seen how to state your topic in a neutral format. So later on, next week, we shall look at, but I want, one of the homeworks I've given you is that I want, by the time we come back next week, each one of us must have identified a neutral topic. Because now we are going to break them into smaller particles such that we can be able to measure on what we can digest, dissect the points further. Okay. Yes, I think domestic issues, I've said family environment, home environment. Yes, so school is part of the society, is part of the community. Yes, so school is part of the ethical constellations. I think I'll look at it at a later time as well because it's also part of data. So we shall look at it in terms of the data. I think for the questions, I have answered. Yes, I've answered all the questions. How? Okay. Okay. I think allow me to take one more question. I don't know which person. Yes, Lucy, teacher Lucy, you can be the last one.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Mine is not a question, mine is a request.
Yes.
Mondays are very tricky for most of us. Today you're only lucky because it's Easter, it's an Easter break. But is it possible to reschedule, at least choose a weekend? Because Monday you find teachers are so packed from afternoon meetings to teaching to so many things. I'm just requesting that you reschedule to a weekend, kindly. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I may not give you the final answer now, but I will communicate. I will communicate on the WhatsApp group. I will communicate on the WhatsApp group and then see how to go about it. Someone who is asking about poverty, you can say household socio-economic status and learners' well-being. You can state it like that. Instead of saying poverty, you can say, so you cannot say poverty and state it in a neutral way, household socio-economic status, and then maybe in case you are looking at well-being, you are looking at academic performance, then we shall break it and look at family income level, parent occupation, access to learning materials, and the rest of that. Yeah, I think Teacher Lucy, allow me, I will respond later. I'll first check out and see whether it will be possible on that day. Yes, but I'll let you know on what can be done. Okay, I want to thank all of you for taking the session. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be a journey, but I think it's going to be a journey. The only beauty is that we shall have always these sessions recorded, and we shall always share the recording on that WhatsApp group that we have shared. But I think because I know how my Saturday is next week, it's not going to be possible for Saturday next week. So I'll ask that we are going to use Monday for now. I have confirmed Monday of next week. I've confirmed that I'll use Monday for next week, that's 13th. Then the other week, that's where we can play about it. But thank you so much. Maybe what we can do, let's plan early on what to do going forward. But generate, in case you finish to generate, you can share with me. I may take long to reply, but once time allows, I will be sharing with you. I will be giving you feedback. But the most important thing, create a topic. Because anything we are going to do going forward is going to be rotating about that topic that you have been able to create. Yes. Thank you so much. I want to welcome Mr. Ronald.
Hello, Mr. Kaziba.
Yes, Mr. Ronald. You can say something and then you can close off that session.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kaziba, and thank you everyone who has been part of this session. You can see the journey we have to walk is rather a long one, but it is always good to start on the journey. Maybe what I have to add is that it would be best for that main teacher of general paper to actually do a research topic with the students, to cut out research, classwork research in form of project-based learning, so that the students can now experience it, and then they can now take on their various projects. Otherwise, if they don't do it in class, then they will find it difficult to even begin identifying a topic. So maybe Mr. Kaziba, next week you may have to emphasize that we need to do this work ourselves with the students so that they can experience the research journey, and then they can now mirror that within their own projects. But I want to thank all of you for having been here up to this time. I know we started at 300. We have now dropped, but it is also past the 2 hours we had set. And I think we shall just keep it at 2 hours next time. And also, Mr. Kaziba, if Monday is a bit difficult, maybe we start a little later in the day than 2 p.m. I don't know how that is, so that we can accommodate whoever will be busy in class starting at 2. With that, I want to wish you the best of Easter Monday and wish you well in the week until we meet again next Monday. Thank you.